back to Auto Salvage Outlaws. I'm going to show y'all how to rebuild a 2100 series motorcraft 2-barrel carburetor. It's basically all the same on your 2-barrel motorcraft carburetors in the late 50s, 60s, and 70s, and some in the early 80s, and then somewhere around 84, 85 when they went to the throttle body. I'd have to get the book and get the exact year. But all of it basically the same thing. Just take your bolts out here and here, and then you just take your top off, and then down here is your jets right here. You pull them out right there. Take your jets out, and then I've already started taking this one apart, but you got one big nut. You just gotta loosen it up. Pull this out. I got a little bucket of carburetor stuff that I'm gonna put in the vat and let it sit there for a couple of days. Be very careful on these carburetors because there's a little check valve right there. It's like the size of a little BB. It's in the middle right there. So be careful when you turn these carburetors over, because if you lose that right there, your carburetor's not going to run right and it's going to pop. So be very careful getting that right there out. And this one here is kind of stuck, which I knew it would be because it's been sitting up since probably the early 90s. Getting ready to build this and to put on my truck. I'll have to let that soak in there a little while. See all the grime. I've done sprayed carburetor cleaner in there and bust up the crud. Now I'm not going to disassemble all the choke and stuff off of it, because basically all this needed was just a tear down and just a rebuild. Some of them you have to. I'm not going to use this on the truck very long until I go with a 4-barrel carburetor, so I'm just going to use this one for the time being. And this is your accelerator pump. And most time on Fords, that's where it's going to leak gas. And to do is just take this right here. There's a little slot right there. Sometimes it's hard to get off, especially if they're rusty, like the end of this one. You just have to wiggle it out there. It'll come out. What you do is just drop it in there with the rest of the carburetor stuff. And there's a little plunger here. It's like it works like a seal. I said most time they'll break when you take them out. I ain't no telling how long this carburetor even has been together. It's probably been together since '76, because I got it off of a '76 Thunderbird where I get the 351 out from my truck. So all you got to do is just dig it out. See, that's done right there. And then you work over here to your float ignitor. So these are some of the simplest carburetors to even attempt to build. Oh, that ain't good. Well, if I can get the big one on it. Oh, yeah. I had to get the heavy artillery pliers to get it loose. So all you do is just unscrew this right here. It's about, when I say it's about the easiest carburetors you'll ever build in your life. It's simple. Just got a little gasket there. Most like an O-ring, but it's a little cord gasket or something. Just throw it over there because it'll come in the new kit. Just make sure I didn't mess it up getting it off. So no, it's good. Then you take the filter off the front. That's your fuel filter on the 2-barrel carburetor. And just jump that to the garbage because there's a new one to go on it. It looks like somebody has put some kind of gunk on the front of it. Some kind of washer. Yeah, it's the old washer. It's supposed to have a metal washer there. I guess somebody used a little rubber gasket or made one or something. But we'll clean that up, get it off. That's right down with some carburetor cleaner, it'll get it off. What I usually do is, if it ain't too bad, I won't disassemble none of this. I'll just clean the outside of it. And if this is bad, I'll usually just go buy a new one of them right there with hoses. But the choke, as long as the choke's still working on it, and I don't have to put the whole thing in the back, then I'll just leave this on there. That's a whole different ball game when you mess with that. And here's your float right here that come out. Alright, like I said, I already had it took out. So I'll just stick it in there with the rest of it. And then what I'll do is I'll drop it down here in the back. I'll put the lid on it. The grandbabies won't pick it up and think it's a toy to play with. And I'll just set that to the side and let it soak. And then I'll come out here with a can of carburetor spray. Yeah, if I get this little thing in there. Dang it. It won't go. Ah. Now on the bottom, actually forgot to take this one off. On the bottom, you got 4 Phillips head screwdrivers. Some of them flat head, but on this one, it's going to be Phillips head. Just take it off. This right here sits up underneath your jets, carburetor jets. It's like a filter like slash thing. Alright, actually, I'm forgetting. See, it's been a long time since I built one. But that's all that is. That usually comes in the kit, but nowadays you probably had to order it separate. Everything's always separate. There's that little check valve ball. You see how small it is. You do not want to lose that. And you make sure you put that back in it exactly where it came out of. If not, you're just wasting time. And then you have to pull it back apart. So basically what I done was just sprayed it out real good with some carburetor cleaner. So what I'll do now is spray some more in there and let it be soaking. You see how clean I got it. There's a trick to cleaning these carburetors. What you do is just spray some carburetor cleaner on it and let it sit. Usually the longer it sits, it'll work all that the grease and grime off of it, and this is what you get, a pretty clean carburetor, which I'll not through wiping it down or cleaning it. So try to get as clean as possible. The outside really don't matter, but when I build one, I like to have it be clean on the outside and inside. I really want it to be as clean as possible. I'll get down there with a little brush and then I'll scrub it again while it's still soaking a little bit, and then I'll do a final rinse on it, and then I'll put it back together. I'd like to get a big old shout out to Action Auto Parts, Jamie Phillips. If you ain't subscribed to him, go over to his channel and subscribe. So he deals with a lot of old cars, and he has a little junkyard, and he'll sell parts and ship them out to you. He's a good guy. I'll catch you on the next one. When I go ahead and get through soaking the parts on the carburetor and put it together, and then I'll make another video of me assembling it. And we'll catch you on the next one, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.